Hey everyone, I'm Cameron Tait and this is Wild Cuisine for Outdoor Canada magazine. What we're going to be doing today is we've got wild turkey. What do we do with it? A wild turkey can have all different kind of flavors that are brought into it. We're going to be making a Tex-Mex wild turkey soup. If you take a look down here, we've got all of these ingredients that you can have in your pantry or buy in the store. It's so simple, and I'm going to show you, you can even make it on the back of your tailgate or after your turkey hunt. This is all about flavor. I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's get started. So the most important thing about developing flavors for any kind of dish is cooking your spices. And I'm going to show you how to do that, and the difference is so profound because when you bring oil and heat into this one, we've got paprika and cumin and chili. What happens is it activates all those the flavors in those spices, and the end result is so incredibly different. So we're going to start off with a little bit of butter, and so the fat is actually what's going to help saute your spices. So we're going to add in our paprika. So we have 3 teaspoons of paprika, and then we've got 3 teaspoons of your cumin. I'm using a cumin seed, and 1 teaspoon of a chili powder. So I've got this on a medium heat right now, and take a look at that. Now it's sauteing your spices. It's going to foam up, but the flavor is really starting to come out in these spices now. Okay, so if I've cooked these spices on medium heat now for, around 30-45 seconds, I've got my garlic. I'm going to add that in. Sweat that for a little bit. And the flavor and the seasoning and everything is starting to come together already. So we're going to add in our onions. Sweat that for a little bit. So now the spices are going to be coated in our vegetables and our carrots. And what we're going to do is we're going to saute this one here for about 2 minutes until the vegetables are a little bit soft, and then we're going to add our wild turkey meat into it. So my vegetables are pretty much soft now, al dente with a little bit of a bite. I'm going to add in my wild turkey meat here. You can use leg meat, you can use thigh, you can use the breast. So now we're going to coat it in all of the butter and the seasoning. And going back to the seasoning, if you take these seasonings and you put it in at the end of the dish, I call it sort of a dead seasoning. There's not a lot of flavor that you're going to get out of it. This one here is just all about now, just sort of cooking the turkey meat about 3/4 of the way through, and then we're going to add our stock and get on to our next step. So now the turkey meat is about 3/4 cooked, and the flavor and the smell in the kitchen is unbelievable. And a really interesting fact is that the more spices and herbs you use, the less salt that you need, because it has all of those the flavors that you're getting from those spices rather than using salt. So before I used the carcass from my wild turkey, I've got my stock already made. So all we're going to do is we've got our black beans and our canned corn. It's all drained of the juice. And one of my secret ingredients here is a fire roasted tomato, and the difference of a fire roasted tomato is really incredible. It has that nice earthy, smoky kind of flavor. The one thing about this dish here is it's really hearty. I like big chunks of onions and carrots and big chunks of the turkey meat. So all we need to do now is adding in my stock. And again, the reason why I'm doing it on this sort of a portable camp stove is all about, you can make this dish anywhere. I'm going to take literally just that much salt. I'm going to add in a pinch of black pepper. That's it. All you need to do now is we're going to bring this up to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it for 20-30 minutes, and then essentially that's ready to go. So we're going to have these red peppers, and you can use a green pepper or a poblano pepper, and we're going to roast this in a really hot oven, 425, a little bit of oil on here, and we're going to roast this for about 20 minutes, and then what we're going to do after is we're going to take it out, we're going to let it cool, and then peel off the skin, take off the seeds, and we're going to chop it up, and we're going to use that for a garnish on top of our soup. It is so amazing, the flavor from an oven roasted pepper like that, and you put it on top and it's amazing. Okay, our soup is simmering here. It looks fantastic, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab the roasted peppers, and let's take a look at them. So they're nice and soft. I'm going to let these cool a little bit, and this is going to be for the garnish for the soup. I'm going to show you one of my ways of making crispy tortilla chips. So I've got a spinach, and then I've also got a red pepper. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tortillas. There's a couple of different ways of doing them. You can either cut them in squares, but I like to cut them sort of in triangles. Go like this, put them on top, cut them in half, and then half again. These are so easy to make. Okay, and then I'm going to take them, all you need to do is then just put them into a bowl, and any kind of oil is fine, just using a canola oil here, and you don't need that much oil, and my favorite kosher salt in here. You can use a little bit of black pepper as well. Toss these, and we've got our oven set at 425 degrees from our peppers. So here's our tortillas on there. Spread them out a little bit, and then these are ready to go into the oven. Don't be afraid to toss them around a little bit after about 10 minutes and get them nice and crispy, and these will be fantastic for the soup at the end. Okay, here we are on the last step. I've taken the peppers, I've cut them in half, and I've let them cool off. So they're going to sort of look like this, and you're going to be able to peel off of this skin here. You're going to flip it over, take out the seeds and sort of like these inner ribs here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to be left with something that is really nice and super tasty. I'm going to cut these in half, and all you're going to do is a julienne. A julienne is a thin strips, and the flavor of this is so nice. And then we'll do the same thing with the green. This is going to go for a garnish, and you can put it in the pot or in each individual bowl. Okay, so now we've got our garnish here. Let's just do a little bit of our cilantro. Cilantro and Tex-Mex and black beans and corn and lime, sour cream. It's a perfect flavor marriage. Let's go to our soup here. So there's a little bit of the butter on top. Don't worry about that. That's going to have some flavor. And we're going to put it into our serving pot right here. And this smells so incredibly good. Okay, all we have to do now is let's take our garnish, and we're going to put it right on top. Or like I said, you can put it into this one here. It's just going to add more flavor. And then you take your cilantro, and then you can sprinkle it on top, and a little bit in there as well. And then with this one here, I've done my crispy homemade tortilla chips, really nice and crispy. This is great. You put some sour cream on there and a squeeze of lime. It is a healthy, low sodium, full of flavor soup that I love. I tell you, I know what I'm having supper for tonight. Talk to you next time.